Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Tina. Channel is Tina Stitches. And Mania is over. Or for me, it was Maybia. And turns out I started a whole bunch of new things. I did do an update video 2 weeks ago, so some of those Maybia starts are on that video. And there are some more on this video. Today is Sunday, June the 9th, and it is 1:40 in the afternoon. Yesterday was a glorious sunny day. Today it is raining, and I am perfectly fine with that. We are struggling with some forest fires in the region, so we really did want the rain. We had a mild winter, which meant not so much snow to be soaked up into the ground. You know, that's how it goes. Yeah, there's a forest fire near a community not that far away, and they are on evacuation alert. And the town I'm in has been bringing in evacuees from another place that's had a forest fire nearby. So, yeah. Other than that, everything has been going good. Gonzo has an appointment tomorrow to see about the eye. So far, I think the medication that we're giving him is working. So that will save us a few $100s in vet bills. We really do not want to do that surgery. So, yay. So yeah, I did Mania. It was Maybia, but it definitely was Mania for me. I got some haul, and I have one finish. It's not fully finished because the parts are ordered and reordered because the originals were the wrong size and broken anyway. So we'll show you that in a little bit, but let's get on to whips. What have I been stitching? Well, since my last video, I have worked on 4 new starts. So those are right here, and the first one that I worked on was Buckingham Guard Chubby Nutcracker by Sweetheart Tree. And I am stitching this on 32 count mystery linen that was in my stash. And I'm trying in hand for this one because it is too small for a Q-snap. I don't know if it's wanting to focus right. The lighting is horrible because, you know, rain. But that's where I got on that. And that was just one day. The one day start. The next start was this. Another Sweetheart Tree This is the Tea Caddy Treasure Box Fob. This is a companion to another piece that I did on the Tea Caddy Treasure Box. I'm guessing is what it's called. I'm sure there was another name for it, but so this is a kit, and the instructions, I'm going to warn anybody else that has this kit. The instructions for preparing the fabric was a little bit confusing because it came with 2 pieces of, I'm going to guess, like 6x5 pieces of fabric. And step 1, it said to cut in half, which I did, and zigzag the edges. I don't know if that's in the instructions, but that's what I did. I pressed and I zigzagged. And then on the step 2 stitching instructions, it says, and on the diagram that it has, which I'm not going to show you, but basically it says when stitching, leave an inch between the points. And I'm guessing that's because they stitched it on the same piece without cutting it, and then that inch is for allowance for cutting and then joining together. So, yes, confusion. I'm dealing with it, but that might be a problem for some other stitchers. And so, because this is on so many little pieces, I have the 4 pieces that make up one side. I've got the blue parts done, and the white is nearly finished. Yeah. I've been working on this on my lunch hour after my day of starting it, so this is definitely more than just the one day of work. This is more like 4 lunch hour shots. But, you know, a few more. The front and back are not identical, so this here is the part that I'm working on now. And the other side is similar, but it has a different center pattern. So that's that. And like I said, that's about 4 or 5 days. I did have the camera set up the other way, but it was really dark. So that's why I have to do a lot of twisting now. The next new start that I had was Just Nan's Miss Kitty's Pin Cube. That picture is really, really dark. And there's my threads. I made thread drops with little name gift tag die cut. and pulled floss off my bobbins, and I actually had my iron out, and I ironed the floss before I put it on to here, which I'm going to be honest, I really do prefer. I don't like the working with really kinked up floss. So anyways, here is my one-day start. And this is really washed out looking, but it's a really, really pink fabric. Really pink. So but there it is. That's most of the stitching for the first side finished. So this one won't take long. Another one of those projects I could take to work. And the last one that I started is another Alice. Mad Hatter's Tea Party by Bothy Threads. And it is another kit, and this one has the printed fabric and black floss. Big bundle of black. And that's how much I got done. So that is part of the tree trunk, right in the middle. And that was one day, and that was the last day of Mania. So I also worked on some whips during that time. And one of those actually was a Mania start from earlier in the month, and that was finished by the end of the month. It was actually finished on the 30th, it looks like. And that is time to stitch. And this is not fully finished. I just have it resting in there. It's in there loosely because I am actually getting a time piece, but you know, the clock works, to put into it to make it an actual clock. So that is by Needlework Press, and it is stitched on 32 count even weave. No, that's linen that I had in my stash, and I used not the called for colors because the called for colors were 2 shades of gray. I used Tin Bucket, which was called for, and Gentle Arts it's here somewhere when I think of it. I will, you know, put it in the captions there. It's red. It's not I don't think it's cranberry. It's not baked apple. Yeah. But that's turned out really good. And I just need to get the clock on there. So there's that. My finish. And I also worked on these other ones are long-term whips, so I will insert pictures where necessary, and I will try to remember to give you all those details, which I didn't really do very good so far. That just Nan, that was on Ash Rose. 32 count Ash Rose linen. I'm not sure by who. It's been a day. So the next one that I have to show you is Royal Tudor Mandala by Chatelaine, and I will insert a picture here where it was. And here's where it's at now. The needle minder is one that I've made myself. And what I've been working on is this crown. And you're probably wondering why I'm showing it upside down, but honestly, this is the right way because this is the bottom crown. And I really should work on this more because it does go up pretty fast when I get focused on it. So hopefully you'll see more progress next time. That crown is nearly finished. I just have to do the back stitching. And then we'll work our way down to the big crown. Graham guard I made myself, and the fabric is 32 count opalescent Lugana. Pretty sure it's Lugana. And this is what it'll look like finished. The next one in line here is a Maybia, and I worked on it for 2 days, the 1st and the 2nd of the month, and it is Dressmaker's Daughter. I am stitching it on 32 count Belfast by Extrude Designs. I will insert a picture here of what it looked like before. And here's where it's at now. And this is a name will come to me. And so I started to work on the winter dress on the 1st. And so that would be this one here. So really I didn't do any of the dress, I just did some of the background stitches there. You know, the name of this fabric is going to bug me. Yeah. Well, if I can think of it, I'll insert the name here. Another one, that's grime guards, all grime guards I made myself. And this one here is one where I was wearing words. I was waiting for an order to come in because I didn't have the threads necessary to proceed any further from where I was. So this is England's Rose by insert name here. It is from an older magazine of the Stitcher's World, which is right here actually, so I can just grab it for you. The Stitchery magazine, March 1998, and that's what the cover looks like. And I will insert a picture here of what it's supposed to look like, because trying to show you a little picture like that is not easy. And here is where I am. And so what I've done since you last saw it is I continued this row here, added some of the gold stitching in here, and I did these 4 rose motifs and the pink outlines. And I don't know how well it's showing up, but the pink outline is probably going to be removed. And the reason for that is because it looks like the it looks like the dye is bleeding into the fabric. So that I was able to stitch because of an order that came in, which I will share with you in a little bit. But I do like the way it's coming together, aside from that pink thread. And now I think we are on to another whip. This one was a Mania start, but I also worked on it on one day because I believe there was a stitch along for Mirabilia's starts, and I decided to go ahead and pick this up. Yeah, I think it was on the 31st. The virtual stitchers were doing a start together. I did not need to start another Mira, so I picked up one that I did start. Well, it's a Nora Corbett, and it's Halloween Fairy, and I started this in Mania. You will have seen it in my last video. I'll put a picture where I was here. And here is where I am now. And so really I just did this from about here up. And this is another one of those, it would be a quick stitch. I could probably take it to work and stitch on it during my lunch hour. I only have so many lunch hours, right? So I will be working on this one again no, I will not. I will be working on a different one on the 13th because this is not what I've picked for my dark 13. My dark 13 stitching is Whispered by the Wind, Harvest Moon, I believe it's called. Now, there's one more whip. It's a big one. Beloved by Heaven and Earth Designs. Here's what it will look like when it's finished. And where it was last time you saw it. And here it is now. So, what I've worked on is over here I've been picking up the threads and working them in across. So I'm working in my parked threads for the next 3-column section. So there's still a lot of park threads in the way. And this is being stitched 2/1 half cross on 25 count even weave. And I think I'm going to hit my goal of having the 3 columns done by the end of June. That's what I need to make my full coverage fanatics goal for the 1200 stitches per month. Because I'm doing it half cross, it has to be 2400. So We're getting there. And I think that covers all of the whips that I've been working on. Well, I lied. I'm looking at my list here, and there is something that I was working on, which is probably why there's not as much progress on Royal Tudor Mandala as there could be, because my evening stitching has been taken up by a mystery stitch. It's an exchange piece, so I can't show you. And I really need to hurry up and get that finished so I can get it finished and mail it off. And so now I'm just trying to think of what else. And now we're on to haul. And I already put some of it away, so now I have to pull it out again. So these are the threads and silks. Silk ribbons that I ordered for the England's Rose. I needed this to finish the Scotch stitches. This is the silk ribbon that I ordered for the roses. And I may have not needed as much as I ordered, because the 4 roses that I did, I pulled off of 1 card, and I still have this much left. So I think I only need 1 card per row, per side, which means 4 cards, and I ordered 6. So I will have some left over, it looks like. And that is Kayla's Rose, 7mm by Dinky Dyes. And then I also got these for that project. But the area that uses this, I probably won't use it. Let's just say that. It's the area, I'll explain it later. When I get to that part, I'm not at that part. So, and this is the pink thread that's going around the roses, which is making it look like it's staining the fabric, or canvas in this case. So this, I want to say this was not cheap, but it's not the cost that was the issue, more of the availability. So I would like to use it somewhere, but I posted it on the group I've been a member a long time of, and they agree it looks like it's stained, and so maybe we'll switch it out for a gold. I'm thinking like a thicker gold ribbon size, instead of just the same treasure braid. So a thicker braid around here, and this color here is supposed to be like foundation stitching around the design down here. So I mean, maybe it would look interesting, but I don't know, because of the variegation, how well that would turn out. Now I'm interested in seeing how that would look. So we'll see. And other haul that I got was crinkle crinkle. This is fabric by Fabric Flare, 28 count dried petals, and I bought this because I've been wanting to start these. And they call for lilac, and I thought that was a really good alternative. I think it was on sale, and I got enough to do both of them, plus there'll be a little chunk left over for something small, more like a score new size, or ornaments, or small stocking kind of thing. The only thing, so I was looking at these charts while I'm on it. So I was looking at these charts, and you would think that they're both stitched with the same threads. And I had got the thread pack for the one when I ordered it. And that's the thread pack for this one. And reading the back, it says cover photo, Belfast lilac and dinky dyes threads. On this one, the threads called for are dinky dye silks, dinky dyes ribbon, and the cover photo says Belfast lilac and the Gentle Arts thread. And it doesn't give a Gentle Arts alternative. So that's a little bit misleading, because if that's Gentle Arts, then why is it called for dinky dyes? So, and I don't know if you can get this one off of European Cross Stitch. I was on there this morning. I didn't see it. But they did have this one, which is where I got it, and the thread pack. But regardless, I am going to use the same threads, even though it actually does call for different colored pink. One calls for vintage plum, the other one calls for merlot. I have merlot. Depends on how much it uses, of course, because it's actually a really decent sized pattern. Also got silks needed for the Peacock Peacock Sampler by Victorian Sampler. That's these. I'll insert a picture here of the Peacock Sampler. I mean, this is showing up like black, but it's a green. It's Gloriana Forest. Just does not want to pick it up. And of course, the one color where I was stitching, the color needed next is Mocha, and that's the one that's on back order. And of course, while I was there, I had to get a chart. I got 2 charts, and they are Stitcher's Alphabet by Carolyn Standing Webb. It is a lot of font. Not font. A lot of words, a lot of letters. If you like stitching letters, there you go. There's also some little motifs in there. The thimble, scissors, ribbon, thread, needle. So that one, who knows when it will get started. And petite French stockings, because yeah, because they're stockings and they look like they'd be really fast to stitch. And they give a lot of different alternatives for the threads. So, plans. Plans are not really set in stone. Don't really have any hardcore plans. I do have that swap that I have to finish. I will insert pictures in my next video when that's sent off. I got a frame at Walmart for Alice, so I will try to get that framed and show you next round how that turns out. I hope to have the clock parts in to finish the clock. I don't think I have anything else in the mail coming. Hopefully I'll get some more done on the Royal Tudor mandala. One of the other things that I was going to mention is this one here. needs to get some love. And I really should try to work it into a more regular stitch on it more regularly. Yeah. Well, I do have 2 weeks off coming up in about 5 days. So who knows how much I'll be able to get done. Might be a lot, might be a little bit. But one thing I wanted to mention about this, Dina at Half Stitch Cross Stitch had commented on this on one of my previous videos. I believe it was the last one, and asked if I had any tips. Yes. One of the tips is the Kreinik that's called it for in this design is cable. Not cable. It is number 8 braid. And it is super thick. This is really difficult to pull through the fabric. If at all possible, switch out to a finer braid. Let me see. So, I'm going to put 2 braids here next to each other. My dog is sniffing at the door. Khaleesi. Maybe I should have picked one that had a little bit darker color. Number 4, very fine braid, is a lot easier to work with. It is much closer to petite treasure braid. And number 8 braid is very stiff, coarse, and unless you have a loose fabric, which I actually do have a loose fabric, you still have to work it, like wiggle it to get it to come through. So I use a larger needle to open up the holes to help the thread come through easier. The only reason I am sticking with it is because I started with it. So if you haven't started it yet, definitely go for the smaller braid or find a petite treasure braid in the same color, because they are beautiful and they really do add a lot of sparkle, but I don't think it was necessary to be that thick. And then tying it off on the back is a nightmare. The other thing that they call for, which I have, but I just realized it now, it's not a... I think they've changed the numbering system, but it's the DMC Gold. There. You could swap that out for any of the Petite Treasure Braid or Krynet Gold as well. Those are my tips. Whisper thread using short lengths, of course. Yeah, aside from that, I haven't really dealt with the that fuzzy thread yet, so we'll see how that goes. That fuzzy, the blue lettering. So, I've made it this far, and you're probably all waiting for me to do the draw. I promised a giveaway. I am 100% still going to do it, and I just need to draw a name. And I just have to load up the comment picker on my iPad, and then we can get this going. Okay, so there's the video. There's the comment picker. And there are 14 comments. And the winner is Moonbow Eve. She says, love your Alice project. The Jardin Privé Alice Opé de Merveille piece is lovely too. And I showed you that in my last video. And so, Moonbow Eve, I will leave a comment on your comment, and we'll work something out for your gift certificate. So, congratulations. Now, I think that covers everything. Thank you for sticking around. Today has not been a tip-top day for doing a video, but I struggled through it and got it done. So, I will clean this all up, take the dog outside, get this all edited together, and I might be back a little bit earlier because holidays start in a week, and might be doing a video on a Tuesday or something silly like that. So we will see. So until next time, take care, keep stitching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you see and want to see more. Bye.